Right, hello everyone. So for today we will be learning how to do paper weaving. So we will be needing some glue, a pencil, a pair of scissors, and a ruler, and two pieces of colored paper. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside for now. Now what you need to do first is to get your two pieces of paper and fold it in half like a book. Okay, so you're gonna fold it to the left or maybe to the right, but you're not gonna fold it downwards. Okay, so when you open it, it should have two lines. It should have lines down the middle. Okay, now this is an important step. Now I'm gonna fold it like this, and remember to fold the flap side. Okay, not that one, but the one on top. So the flap side or the one you can open. Now with a ruler, I will be making some lines. So I'm gonna make several lines, and I'm trying as much as I can to make the lines equal in width. Okay, so you can make the lines thinner or a little thicker, but what's important is they have to be equal in width. Alright, as you can see, I have my lines. Okay, now what I will do is I'll get my scissors and I'll cut the lines as straight as I can. Okay, now with my left hand, as you will see, I am pressing down on the paper. I'm trying to clasp it together so that the paper doesn't unfold, and it will just leave us with straighter lines if we do that. Okay, so I'm gonna cut all of these up. If you have a bigger pair of scissors and you can control that, maybe you could use that so to make this process a little faster. Alright, last one. Okay, now I have my lines here. I'm gonna set it aside and I'm gonna work on my other piece of paper. Okay, and then for this one, I'm also gonna make some lines just like what we did with the previous one, with my yellow one. And I'm gonna try to make lines that are equal in width as well. So if you made thin lines for your other paper, you should do the same thing for your next paper. Okay, so I tried to make the lines equal. Now I'm gonna cut it. So I'm cutting it, and remember the trick with your other hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm holding the paper with my left and I'm cutting with my right. So what my left hand is doing is I'm just pressing down on two of the leaves of paper so that it stays intact and it doesn't unfold. Okay, so I'm cutting. And I'm on my last strip. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna take my paper, the one that I cut not all the way through. Remember, you should not cut the first one all the way through. Now I'm opening up my strips so that for later I'll be ready and the process will be much faster. Okay, I'm gonna open up my yellow paper, and this is where the weaving happens. So I'm gonna take one strip and I'm gonna start with under. Okay, so the red one, as you will see, is the weft. Weft is what you weave onto the warp. So in this case, in this tutorial, my warp is the yellow paper and my weft is the red paper. Okay, so you saw that I started with under, so the second one I'm gonna start with over. Okay, so it's always under, over, under, over. Okay, so that's the only two words you have to remember when weaving. Okay, so you do under, over, under, over. Okay, now I'm fixing the paper so that I'm just pushing it upwards. Now I'm doing under again. So what I'm doing with my left hand is I'm putting it behind the yellow paper or the warp, just so it's easier for me to get the red paper across. Okay, so as I'm doing this, I'm pushing it upwards. Okay, and you will see this is what will happen if you repeat what you did with the previous strip. So for the third one, I started with under, right? For the fourth one, I should have started with over, so that's wrong. So I should start with over. Okay, so just remember, you have to alternate over and under, both the warp and the weft. So you should have this like checkered pattern, like a chessboard. And then I'm just finishing all the strips of paper. Okay. There we go, we have 6 strips done. Okay, let's go to the 7th one. So again, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, and then under again. And then you push it upward. And then over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. Okay, so this next one, I'm gonna go with under, over, under, over, over, and then under. Okay, almost done. I'm almost done with my strips of paper. Now, if you will see, I'm not sure if you noticed, but you should. But look at that, okay? So, when that happens, just pull the paper out, and then just start over. Okay, it's easy to fix anyway. So, you should always remember to recall the under and over process or the steps. What I do is as I'm weaving, I'm just saying out loud under, over, because it's just easier for me that way to not make a mistake. So that might prove to be useful for you guys as well. So this is my last strip of paper. Now I'm pushing everything together. So I'm pushing all the strips upwards. You will see you can still push the strips upwards, and the lines should meet. And when you do this, the paper will be woven much better, and it will have a tighter knit, and it won't come off as easily. Now what I'm gonna do with the sides is, well, I can just cut it, but I'm gonna turn it over, and then I'm gonna put some glue. So I'm gonna put some glue on the parts that are sticking out. So you don't need a lot of glue. Then I'm gonna do that for the other side as well. Okay. Now I'm gonna fold it inward. outwards. Okay, so you're gonna fold it over itself. So we're gonna fold it onto the yellow parts for some, and for others onto the red paper. But what's important is that you fold it inside, so that when you turn it over, and you'll see later, when you turn it over, we will have a neater looking paper mat. Of course, for this tutorial I just used 2 different colors, but you can easily use as much colors as you want. It really depends on what design you want to have. So I'm almost done folding, and make sure you fold it really well, and that the lines just go before until the edge of the yellow paper. Now I'm gonna turn it over, so when you flip it, you will see that it's become much better. Now for the ones that don't have strips of paper in them, I'm just gonna cut it with a pair of scissors. You don't really have to, you can just decorate it any which way you want, but for this one I'm gonna cut it, and then I'll show you what kind of designs you can make with this. Okay, now that's a design in itself. Okay, so what you can do is you can cut it into further strips. So this kind of pattern is what we call tassels, or you can also just draw on them. I'm just using a pencil here, but you can use a marker or a colored pencil. These are the designs that you most often see in Ifugao paper or in Ifugao weaving, since that's our inspiration for our paper mats, right? Okay, now so those are the designs you can make. So we're done. I hope you enjoyed the video.